money. So let's start tonight where we should all begin every single day of our life, and that's with the right mindset. And that right mindset is the moment you wake up before your feet even hit the ground, there's going to be a voice in your head. We all have it. It's called our subconscious. And that voice starts talking to you immediately, right when you pop your eyes open in the morning. This voice just starts talking. You guys feel me? You know what I'm talking about, right? And most of the time, that voice, what it's doing is it's lying to you. It's straight lying to you. It's telling you, I'm tired. I'm stressed. I got so much to do today. How am I going to get it all done? And what I call this voice, when I start hearing it in the morning, because I have this voice every single day, is I call it the routine liar. It's that pre-programmed narrative you've trained yourself to believe every single day. But here's the truth. You're actually in control of this voice. And so today is our second training on this 90-day massive action plan that I want to give you guys that I promise if you execute and implement, it will change your life. And some of you could shake your head and be like, oh, yeah. I get texts on social media all the time. Well, you don't know my life. Listen, I'm telling you, I came from hard knocks. You guys might see success now. You might see something that you think you can't be. I'm telling you, you're lying to yourself. I made a decision. You're in control. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some simple exercises that's going to help you flip that script the moment you wake up in the morning. Because listen, I'm going to tell you right now, every day, that voice starts tapping on my brain. Every day. Because when I open my eyes and that voice tries to creep in, I override it with this. The first thing that I say is, this is going to be a great day. The next thing I say, write this down. You'll have the recording. The next thing I say is, I'm so grateful that I get another day with my kids, my wife, and a chance to impact lives. Second thing I say. Fourth thing I say is, I'm so grateful that I'm still healthy. Fourth thing I say is, I'm so grateful I have an amazing business. Even if you don't have an amazing business right now in your mind because you want more, say these every single day and your business will become that. And then I get up. And that's when I go downstairs to drink my AG1 greens and start my reading and my meditation and my writing. I don't hit snooze. I don't lie there with my eyes closed thinking about, oh my God, I got so much to do today. How am I going to get it all done? Because that, lying there awake, even though your eyes are closed, is the worst thing that you could ever do. I promise you. Because that voice will get louder, it will get stronger, and it will get more convincing. It gives that little liar a chance to grow louder. It'll take you down a dark road and sabotage your entire day before it even starts. And the other thing I want to bring to your awareness is the language that you use with yourself. 15 years ago, I went through this deep subconscious training, and there were two game-changing things that I learned. That there's this record player that plays in your head constantly, and it's called the already, always listening. Already, always listening. And that voice is shaped by your past. It's shaped by your parents, your exes, your mentors, even your environment. And unless you consciously shut that record off, it's going to keep running your life. Language is everything. This lady in our class, we had like 400 people in this course. And she said, I want you guys to understand something. Life is empty and meaningless. And we literally had people get up and leave the class. They were like, this is a BS class. I can't believe this lady just said this. And she said, before you leave, hear me out. And she said, but I'm going to say it 5 more times because I want you to hear what I'm saying. Life is empty and meaningless. And people were getting so frustrated in this room. Like you could see they were turning red. It was crazy. And she said, life is the meaning you give it. Life is the meaning you give it through your language. Life is the meaning you give it through your thoughts. Language gives meaning to your entire world. Your life is shaped by the language you speak to yourself every single day. And she proceeded to say, we give meaning to things that don't have meaning. We assume things. We have expectations from people. And if someone does not do something that we expect them to do, we assign meaning. When there was no meaning, that individual might have just been tired. That individual might have just had a lot on their mind. That individual might have just been stressed. That individual might have just had a car accident. So hear me when I say this, you guys. What you say you can do and what you say you can't do, you are exactly right. And there is nothing tonight or 7 more nights that I'm going to be able to convince you of anything different. Because your language has already convinced you that you can or you can't. Now, I see this in my young daughter, Luna. She's 7 years old. And there's literally nothing that she can't do. Today, we had a golf lesson. And she's struggling a little bit getting her weight shifted from her right to left when she swings through the ball. And so I hired a coach today because I could see her struggling. And maybe I'm not seeing what someone that is a professional can see. And he came out and he started doing exercise and he put a golf ball under her right foot. And she said, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. And he was like, what do you mean? Why do you say that? And then she knows that that's not the language in the house. And I was like, you could do anything. And boom, she's got a golf ball under her right foot. And then he's like, I want you to hold your right foot up and balance on one foot and swing the club like you normally do. She's like, I can do that. Boom. And she was doing it because she's 7 and she hasn't had all this history of language of being convinced that she can't do something. So let's apply that I just told you to this business. What you believe you can create in this next 90 days, you're right. What you believe is possible through the strategies I'm going to teach you, you're right. If you think I'm full of crap, you're right. I'm telling you. It's all up to you. People give me credit all the time for helping them. I had a conversation in Utah with a brand partner that was an SPD, and he was like, oh, you're amazing. You helped me so much. And I was like, I did nothing. You're the one that executed. I'm just giving you the tools. It's up to you to take them. There's millions of books written. It's up to us to read them and then go out and execute the knowledge. This is why you need to be very, very intentional about the words that you use. And I know manifestation to some people is hokey, but it's real. And it starts with the conversations that you're having with yourself when no one's watching. So as we dive into the second day of this challenge, into this opportunity to change your life, I want you to keep asking yourself, what am I manifesting through my language? Because your actions will match your language. If you think you can't, you won't do it. Because I'm telling you, language is the foundation of it all, my friends. So today is going to be very interactive. We have 35 minutes. So I'm going to talk to a couple of you, but I want you guys to share some things that we did last week. I want to hear from you so that others can learn from you and to make sure that you understand the first week of the 90-day massive action plan. So can you guys put in the chat for me a 10X if you will engage with me today? You will raise your hand. You will answer these questions that I'm going to ask. And the questions are your why, your core values, and your success snowflake. So if you could put in the chat for me, let me see the chat. Am I getting any 10Xs in there? Come on, you guys. I need you to engage. Who's going to engage? See, man. Okay, awesome. 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 Thank you guys. This is how we learn, you guys. I don't want to just be a talking head the whole time. I do that all the time. I could talk all day and not engage with you guys, but I want to hear from you guys. So let's do a quick review of last week. We talked about belief being the starting line of success. And if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. We also talked about the importance of having a why, the anchor in the storm. We're in a constant storm. And I'd love for a couple of you to share your whys with us. I shared mine with you guys last week to give you an example. So I'd like to hear from a couple of you and just try to keep this to like 1 minute when we do this, just so we can keep this rolling, because I have a lot of information to give you guys today, but I want to hear from you. So I want to hear what your why is. And your why is going to tell me a lot about you. So this is my why, boom, 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 boom. And then we're going to go to the next person. It's not going to be a long discussion, okay? So what I'd like you guys to do, on the bottom, there's a raise hand feature. If you want to raise your hand, just hit that feature on the bottom of your phone, and I'm going to call on you. We're going to hit a couple, and then I'm going to go to the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing, okay? So we're going to run through this so I can hear from you guys, okay? So the first thing I want to hear from is I just want to hear your purpose, your why, okay? So Lewis, I heard a lot of 10Xs, so I should see a bunch of hands going up here, you guys. I want to see your hands going up. Ron, very good, Ron. Thank you. Go ahead, Luis.
Hola, buenas tardes para todos.
Hello, good
Bueno,
afternoon to
yo tengo
everyone.
una
Well,
declaración que la estoy diciendo todos los
I
días.
have
Estoy
some
aquí en
statement that I
LifeWave para crecer
tell myself.
personalmente
I'm here
y
in LifeWave
convertirme
to
en un
grow
líder
personally
que
and
inspire
become a
a personas.
leader
Mi
to
propósito es
help
ayudar a
people, and my
personas
purpose
con
is to
problemas de
help
salud
people
y a
with health
emprendedores.
issues
Y
and
a
to
través
entrepreneurs as well. And
a través de LifeWave,
through
crear
LifeWave,
energía, libertad.
which gives you
Quiero
energy
ser
and
un
freedom,
ejemplo vivo
I
de
want to
lo
be
que comparto.
a living
Salud,
example of
energía
what I share, which is
y
health, energy,
propósito.
and purpose.
Cada día me levanto con
Every day I
entusiasmo
wake
y
up
alegría, sabiendo
being
que estoy
enthusiastic
sirviendo,
and cheerful,
compartiendo
knowing
vida
that
y
I'm sharing
construyendo un
life
legado
and I'm building a
que hará
legacy
cambiar el mundo.
that'll
Es mi
change the world.
compromiso, es mi
It's
camino,
my
es mi
commitment,
visión.
this is my way, and this is
Gracias.
my vision. Thank you.
I love it, Luis. Perfect. Amazing. Ron, let's hear your why.
Thank you, Jay. Greetings.
Greetings.
My why really simply is to provide in a second mountain a incredible life for my wife and for my family. That's the bottom line. And I know it can be done here. My snowflake is to be in alignment. If I'm in alignment with my core, with my moral, with my ethics, my integrity, and LifeWave is providing that avenue, and I'm with these kind of people, with all of you, I'm in alignment, and then I can share that out. So it's from the soul up, not from the head down.
I love it. That's powerful. That's powerful, Ron. Flor, I'm going to have you, if you want to share both your why and your success snowflake, you can do that. Go ahead, Flor.
Bueno, yo voy a
Well,
compartir mi
I'm going
porqué.
to share my
Por ahora
why.
ese es el que tengo.
For now,
Primeramente
that's the one
es
that I
tratar de
have.
ayudar a muchas
First is
personas
try to
porque
help
conozco
as many
bastantes
people as I
personas que
can, because I know a
necesitan
lot of people
esto.
that need
Y
this.
segundo,
And
es
second,
para darle una mejor vida a mis
it's
padres,
to provide a
mi
better life
mamá,
for
mi
my
papá y
parents, my mom,
definitivamente
my
también para
dad,
mis
and
hijos.
definitely also
Por
for my
ahora esos son
children.
los tres
For
porqués más
now, those
importantes
are
que
my
tengo.
3 whys, the most important ones that I have.
That's very, very powerful, Flor. You guys got it. Those are the things that are going to drive you, right? When you feel like giving up, those whys have to be powerful, right? Being a provider, or like Lewis said, like living into being a leader, like, you know, if you're going to say that out loud in the universe, like you got to live into that. But also what I want you guys to do is I want you to share your whys with everyone. Everyone on your team should know it. Your husband should know it. Your kids should know it. Your mom and dad should know it. You should tell them, Flor, like part of my purpose and why I'm doing this is to provide a better life for you. Because when you do that, we're going to talk about this later on, but you're going to create accountability partners because they're going to be looking at you. And once you tell somebody, this is my why, this is why I'm doing it in public, you guys. When you tell someone, this is my why, and this is my purpose, and this is my success snowflake, now I've told the world what I'm going to do. And we have egos, you guys. We're all human beings. We all live with these egos. And when you have an ego and when you tell people you're going to do something, you will live in to that word because other people know it. When we keep stuff a secret and we don't tell anybody, then it's really easy to let ourselves off the hook. But when we start telling people what our why is, then when you're not doing what you said you were going to do, it's going to kick it into gear again because that why is more powerful than, you know, you being lazy or not doing what you said you were going to do. Okay. Roberto.
Sí, hola, hola Jay, hola a todos.
Yes,
¿Me
hello
escuchan?
Jay, hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Thank you.
Sí, bueno, más que nada nosotros
Yeah, well,
en
more than
nuestro equipo
anything,
local
in
acabamos
our
de
team,
completar una visión
we
de
just
equipo
completed a
que es muy
mission, a
importante
team
porque
mission that I think
a
it's
los
very
momentos
important
que tienes un
because
liderazgo y tienes una
when you have
visión
this
que
leadership
te lleva por otro
and
camino,
a
pues
mission
es
that
muy
takes you
importante
to a certain path, I think it's
llegar
very important
a los objetivos que a los resultados que se tratan,
to
¿no?
meet the goals
Entonces
that
nuestra
you need
visión
to
va
get to
orientado de
to
que
get the
somos un
results that you
equipo en
want, right?
crecimiento y
So
esta
we
parte
are a
es muy
growing team,
importante.
and
Como
that is very
decimos, una
important for
solución
us.
real para
We
mejorar la
share
calidad de
this
vida de las
real
personas
solution
de
to
forma
improve
natural, sin presión y con
lives of people in
propósito.
a
Muy
natural
importante
way
eso, con
with
propósito.
purpose. That's
Y
very
nosotros,
important,
bueno,
with
buscamos liderar
purpose.
con el
And
ejemplo,
we're trying to
hacer de
preach with
nuestra propia
example,
experiencia y construir relaciones
talking about our own
auténticas que
experiences
generen
and
salud,
build
bienestar
authentic
y la libertad
things to
financiera que estamos
generate
buscando también.
wellness, health, and
No
also
buscamos
financial
convencer,
freedom that
sino
we're looking for. We are not
impactar.
trying to
Y
convince
no
people, we're
formamos
trying to
números, sino
impact
que
people.
formamos
And
personas y
we just
formamos
don't get
líderes.
numbers,
Y nuestro enfoque es
we
muy claro.
get people
Ayudar
and we
primero,
form
crecer
people. We try
juntos
to help
y vivir la
first,
mejor versión de
grow
nosotros
together,
mismos.
and live our best version together.
I love that, Roberto. I love that. So is anybody on here want to share? I would love for someone to share their success snowflake. And what that means, to remind you guys, is what does success look like for you? And remember, your snowflake doesn't have to look like anybody else's, but it has to be your success snowflake. Maria, I think, is Mota. Do you have your success snowflake? I don't mean to call you out, but you have your hand up.
No, de hecho me costó trabajo lo
No,
del éxito
actually,
de
it was
Poder
hard for me,
porque lo
the
sentí que en algún
snowflake,
momento sentí
because
que
I
era como
felt like
parecido a mi
at some
porque
point
y de
I felt
hecho me
like it
costó
was
mucho trabajo
very
hacer mi
similar
porqué.
to my why, and actually it was very
Y
hard
yo
for
de
me to
ahí
do
pues
my
ahora ya
why.
voy a
And
limitando
now
menos,
I'm going to
sacar bien
start
mi copo de
like
nieve, mi
working
éxito.
on that,
Y
on my
ahorita lo que quiero
snowflake.
hacer es
And what I
escuchar
want to
todo
do
lo que
now
van a
is
decir acerca de
listen
eso
to
para
everyone
que me quede como
talk
más
about
claro
that,
poder
so
hacerlo.
it's
De
very
los
clear for me
valores
to
sí
do
lo
it.
tenía más
I mean, the
claro.
things of the
Mi porqué me
values
costó
was
mucho
very
y yo
clear
creo
for
que por
me.
eso también
Why
no
it was so
pude
hard for
llegar
me,
o
and I
no
think
pude
that's why
completar
I
lo del copo de
couldn't
nieve.
complete the snowflake challenge. So
Okay, and let me clarify for everybody because I think that's a good point. So your why is like what drives you and why you're doing this business or why you're doing what you're doing in your life. Success snowflake is like if I accomplish these things, I will feel successful, right? And so success is a habit. So when you have success in certain areas that you in your head say, if I could accomplish this and I could accomplish this, then that's success to me, right? So I'll share mine again with you, okay? Success looks like to me, this is success for me, is spending as much time as I want with my kids and wife when I want to, right? Not answering to someone or not feeling like I have to be in an office. Another thing is if I want to impact at least one life per day. That means if I impact at least one life per day, having a conversation, making somebody think different, helping them start a business, helping them understand how to take their business to the next level, that's 365 lives a year. And I feel like, you know what? I got 20 more years to live on this planet, right? So in 10 years, I'm impacting almost 7,000 or 8,000 lives. Every single day I'm impacting a life, right? That's a legacy for me. Success for me means being an example of excellence to my children, meaning everything I do and everything that they see me do. Because listen, we're on stage. We're on stage with our children. We're on stage with our wives. We're on stage with our parents and our friends. So I want to be an example of excellence in every single thing I do. The way I dress, the way I speak, the way I eat, the way I work out, the way I exercise, everything. I want to leave that with them. Success means for me the ability to go on 4 vacations every single year, undistracted with my family. Seems like a lot, right? But if you can't, you don't have a business, you have a job. Number 5 is I always want to be in the best shape. If I'm not living into success. I have control over being in the best shape of my life. It's what I'm putting in my mouth. It's me sleeping. It's me exercising, me doing and treating this thing that God created and gave me the best possible way. Another thing is building an empire with my wife. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm building an empire with my wife in multiple businesses. Success for me means peace of mind with money. I'm not worried about money. I'm not worried about how much my daughter's homeschool is. I'm not worried about going on that vacation. I'm not worried about spending money because I know how to make it. I know how to save it. Getting 1% better every single day for me, improving me every day. That's success if I can spend time on me. So those are ideas of what a success snowflake is. But again, that's me. I don't want to impart what I'm doing on you. Your success could be different than mine. It could be different than your neighbor. The problem is we try to live into what other people's success is. And when you do that, you don't ever witness your own success because you're trying to be successful in someone else's eyes. The amount of money, the amount of freedom that I want does not have to be what you want. So the next thing that we discussed, you guys, was defining your core values. Core values are the things you believe in no matter what, no matter when. It's your filter. They are your values that allow you to evaluate every single situation, every person that you hang out with, every decision that you make. These core values are your brand. They make it extremely easy to make every single decision in your life if you run them through your core values. Now, we sent out these core values that you can look at, Spanish and English, and look at and decide which 4 speak to me. What am I? When I see this word, that's me. Remember, the process I taught you is to go through that list. Pick 4 that best represent who you are and who you're committed to becoming. And I'll have Lola and Justin put it in the chat again. So if you guys didn't get it, you guys can take it. They also put it in the chats. They emailed it out. So just look at that list. So pick the 4 best that you represent, who you are, and who you're committed to becoming. So you might not be that core value yet, but you know, that's the one that speaks to me. I'm going to do that. Ask yourself, why is this important to me? When you see it, why is this so important to me? It's going to speak to you. I promise you, it's going to jump off the page. And you're like, yes, that's me. That's what I believe in. That's how I want to live my life. And then the next question is, how can I live this out every single day? Because it's a commitment. Once you choose your 4, that's it. I'm running everything through this. Your values aren't who you are someday. They are who you decide to be today. When you pick these core values, you're deciding this is how I'm going to live my life. And then you're going to make them a filter for everything. They are literally your GPS system. Okay? I was going to have you guys share, but I'm going to move that to next week. I want you guys to go through that list, and I'm going to start off the call next week with the core values because I want to hear from you guys what you came up with your core values. Because it's going to tell me immediately what your brand is. It's going to tell you immediately what your brand is. And finally, we talked about your 2 most important numbers. How much you want to make each and every single month that would make you feel like you're living the life of your dreams. And number 2, how much money you would want in your bank account that would make you feel like you had enough to live off of for the rest of your life with no worries. And so now that you have those numbers in your head, what I want to do is I want to help you clarify them and make sure that you're accurate by backing into the number. Okay? I'm going to have Lola send these out in the chats, these computations, so that you can have them. But This is going to be recorded. You can write these down. So I'm just going to give you an example, okay? Let's just say that $25,000 a month is your number. You're like, I can live the life that I want to live, have the freedom that I want, $25,000 a month. So that's $300,000 a year, okay? So what you have to do is you got to add taxes to that, right? And let's just say that tax bracket's around 33%, okay? So you got to multiply whatever your number is per year times that 33%. So that would be $399,000 a year, okay? It's about $99,000 in taxes you're going to have to pay on that money. So that means you got to make $399 to get $300, right? So that's about $33,250 a month that you want in your bank account to live the dream life without financial stress. And I'm going to tell you this. As you grow this business and as you grow as a human, that number will change. I remember when my number was $10,000 a month. It was back in 2001. And I said, you know what? If I could make 10 grand a month, I would be set. I remember telling my best friend this. And that number has doubled and tripled and quadrupled and 10x and 100x. Because as you grow, your number is going to change.
is ready.
You're going to have to do this. Lola, there's someone on mute. So that's the month. That's the money you would need for 25K. But you could do the same numbers. Whatever the number is, you're going to multiply it times 12 months, times 33%. That's what you need to make a year, divided by 12. And that's what you need to make every single month to live the life of your dreams. So let's go a little deeper. When I asked how much money you want in the bank, this is a little harder computation to make, right? You got to have to play with the numbers. But I'm going to take that same 25K that you want to make a month, right? And so I'm going to start with, I know the number, right? I know what it's going to take because I've done these numbers a million times. So if I want to live off what I need in the bank is I need $7.5 million in the bank. And that's going to shock a lot of you. You're going to be like, holy crap, I thought if I had $2 million in the bank, I'd be good. Well, this is what I want you to know. This number that you want to have in the bank is to live the same life that you want to live right now. You don't want to stop working and be like, okay, I'll live off of $12,000 a month. No. Once you start living off $25,000, let's live off of $25,000 for the rest of our life. And so what do I need in the bank to do that? So you could take these numbers, right? If you take $7.5 million and you multiply it times 5%. And the reason why I use 5% is because that's a conservative return with no risk, right? We don't want to put our money into crypto and the stock market and lose our money, right? You want to put it into a conservative account that's going to give you 5% annually every year. Now, it could give you 6, it could give you 7, it could give you 8, but I'm going to plan on the conservative side of 5%, okay? So that means that I'm going to get $7.5 million every year. I'm going to earn $375,000 a year. Now, I still got to pay the IRS 20% taxes because it's on capital gains. So that's going to get me to 300K. Now, if you want to figure this number up to get to your monthly number, what you're going to do is take, let's say it's 20,000. I'm going to take 6 million times 5%. And then that's going to give me my 300K. Minus 20% is going to be minus 120,000. I'm going to make 280,000. No, 180,000, sorry. And that's going to be how much money I'm going to have to live off divided by 12. Well, that's not the $25,000 a month. So when you figure out this number, that's your freedom number, where your money works for you and you're not working for your money. So what I want you guys to do is that number that you want to make a month, that's drive force number 1. How do I get my business paying me 25K a month? First objective. Second objective is how do I make enough money to save to get to my big number? So let's say you're 30 years old and you have 35 more years to go. How do I get to $7.5 million? Well, Well, maybe instead of living off of 25, I'm going to live off of 20 and I'm going to save $5,000 a month. But it's $5,000 a month over 20 years going to get you to $7.5 million with a 5% return. You have to do the numbers. So I've given you the computation. Now, this is the cool thing. Share this video with your team. Once you learn this, start sharing it with your team. You want to talk about lighting a fire? This is a wake-up call. When I was in financial services, this was the question I asked my clients all the time. And the other question I ask my clients is, do you know the difference between rich and wealthy? And nobody knows the difference. But the difference between rich and wealthy is the rich make a lot of money, but they spend a lot of money. And all the money that they make, they spend. And they make all their financial decisions based on, can their work money pay for their bills? Well, wealthy people, they make every single financial decision based on, can their assets pay for their expenses? So if they're going to buy a bigger house, a bigger car, a motorcycle, whatever, they figure out, can my assets pay for this additional expense? Because 100% of their income is always going to assets. And that's the point that I want to help you guys get with this business, is to become wealthy, not rich. Most people come into money soon and they spend all of it because they get a bigger house, they get a bigger car. That's how they live their life. So the reason I want you to go through this exercise is because I want you to have a goal of how much money, and then that's going to drive your action. Okay? So today, since I opened up with mindset, what I want to add to this week is that making the daily decisions to do the necessary things that you have to do will transform your life. And the key is every single day, not every other day, not twice a week, not 3 times a week, every single day. It is not now and never will be a one-time decision. You might want to run through a wall after this call and be like, you know what? I'm turning my life around. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this decision. And you're going to need to wake up tomorrow morning when you hit the ground like I talked about earlier, and you're going to have to make that decision again. And then the next day, you're going to have to make the decision again. And then even after you make the decision at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, whenever you wake up, something's going to happen in your day, and there's going to be a moment you're going to have to make that decision again. You're going to have to make that decision every single morning. You'll have to make that decision that you will execute and do whatever it takes. Your why, your success snowflake, your number, all of those things are driving you towards the direction. Now, it doesn't have to be 25K. It can be 5K. It can be 10K. Whatever your number is, it's your number. But you're going to have to execute and do whatever it takes when you don't feel like it. And I'm going to tell you right now, 95% of the time, you're not going to feel like it. I don't. And that's the exact moment you do it. When you don't feel like it, that's when you do it. Because that creates a habit. And that's the difference, you guys, between discipline and regret. Discipline is very, very short term. It's doing something when you don't feel like it. It's going to the gym. It's not putting that junk in your mouth. It's not drinking when you shouldn't be drinking too much. Discipline is doing something when you don't feel like it. Discipline is painful. But I'm going to tell you right now, you guys, regret, the loss of time, the loss of progress, it's so much heavier because it just looms over you. And then it makes that voice in your head even worse. And you're disgusted with yourself and you're disappointed with yourself. It lasts, it lingers, it looms for such a long time. I'm telling you, it's more painful. Once you do what you didn't feel like doing, I'm going to tell you what happened. You feel amazing. You create momentum, which evolves into impetus. Impetus, you don't have to go downhill to keep going. Momentum is going downhill, but by the time you get to the bottom of the hill, you run out. Impetus, you just keep going. It's just this constant drive. Impetus keeps you going up the hills to climb for success, because success is going to be like this, you guys. Up and down and up and down. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you admire right now. They're never going to always be on top. Momentum will last for a very short time. And then when you get to the bottom of the hill, you're like, how do I get going again? And that's why impetus and habits are so important. And when people only rely on momentum, once they reach the bottom, and there is always a bottom, you guys, that's when people give up and they quit. And that's when failure happens. But discipline will prevent this. So make a decision every day that you're going to do what's hard. And you guys have heard this before. The hard is what makes it great. If it's easy, you don't appreciate it. If it's hard, you're like, man, that was tough. And I'm glad I did it. All right? So I'm going to share with you guys this one last thing before we wrap this call up. And that is the one thing that transformed my life forever. And I hope you guys take heed of this, and I hope you implement this tomorrow. And you don't have to implement it like I'm doing it right now, but at least start. And that is my morning routine. If you show me your morning routine, I will show you how successful you are. I will show you how happy you are. I will show you how productive you are. And I will also show you how stressed out you are. It's literally everything, you guys. Let me tell you guys a story about my brother. And probably many of you guys. But my brother wakes up 20 minutes before he has to leave his house in the morning. No breakfast, no shower. He barely brushes his teeth. He feeds his dog, and he runs out of the house. And he has high blood pressure. He's very stressed out. He has a lot of anxiety. And it all comes from the way he starts his day. Because he's running from the moment he wakes up to the moment he gets home from work. Because he's always behind. And I know a lot of us don't like to wake up early. And a lot of us don't like to go to bed earlier. Because we're night owls. We want to watch TV. We want to watch Netflix. But if you can execute on this morning routine, I promise you this. I'm going to teach you a lot in the next 9 weeks. But this one thing will change your life forever and ever and ever. So this is my morning routine I'm going to share with you guys that I've done for the last 8 years religiously. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's not negotiable. My wife did not love it at first, but now she understands. When I wake up in the morning, I talk to myself for 2 minutes.
Hablaré con ella. I will talk with her.
Sorry, someone's on the mute. Lola, can you just not allow people to unmute? So when I wake up, I meditate for 20 minutes. It makes me look forward to waking up in the morning. And when I meditate, it's pray, manifestation, and I do it for 20 minutes. But do it for 3 to 5. You don't have to do it for 20. I do it for 20 minutes in the morning. And then I immediately read 90 pages of a book. Now, I'm going to give you a hack on reading. I download it on my Kindle. I download it on Audible. And they connect. And I listen to it at 2 times. So I get through a book 2 times faster than anybody else. Because I'm listening to it and I'm seeing it visually. This takes me about 45 to 55 minutes every morning. Start reading 5 pages, 10 pages. If you read 10 pages every day, you'll read a book a month. I have a book club. You guys can come on to the book club. Lola, you can put the book club link in there. I've had people in the book club that says this has changed their life. They've never read a book in their life, and we've read over 100 books in the last 3 years. But this is the first thing I do in the morning. Then I write for 45 minutes in the morning. Write for 5. Journal for 5. Write your thoughts down for 5. Write gratitude down just for 5 minutes. Spend time where you're just focused on you and what you're grateful for, what you're going to accomplish that day. And after that, I go for a morning walk. I walk 3 to 4 miles every single day, but walk a half a mile. Go out and get morning light, morning sun in your lights. Reset your circadian rhythm. Go out and walk 5 to 7 minutes. I'm not telling you have to do it for 30 minutes like me. And when I get done with that walk, I go in my backyard and I ground for 5 to 10 minutes. Take my shoes off. I walk around in my backyard, let my feet hit the earth. And then I go work out. I work out for about 60 to 70 minutes every day. Work out for 10. Do some push-ups in your house. If you can't do full push-ups, do them on your knees. Do some sit-ups, do some squats for 10 minutes. I'm not telling you guys got to go out and work out for an hour. And then I do the sauna every day for 15 to 20 minutes. Do the sauna for 3 to 4 or 5 minutes. But that's my morning routine. That's my time. That's non-negotiable. And it has transformed me, and I'm able to pour into me. When I pour into me, I'm a way better version for my wife, way better version for my kids, my team, my friends, my family. But just give this a shot, you guys. You don't have to execute on all the things right away, but do a couple of them tomorrow morning and start adding to your morning routine. I know you're thinking what you're thinking right now. I know. When I talk to people, even when I talk to my wife, I don't have time. Are you kidding? I got all these kids. I got a business. I run 8 businesses, you guys. I have 2 small kids. I have a wife. I have the same exact amount of time in a day that you do. You just have to make a decision. Is it worth it? Do you want to change your life? I'm telling you guys, this changed my life. I'm giving you guys a cheat code. You can make excuses, or you can say, let me give this a shot. Let me give this a try, like most people say. But I hate the word try. So just commit to it. There's nothing more important than taking this time for yourself. Be selfish. Be self-centered. Pour into yourself. So let's add up the time. If you do the minimum of everything that I told you, maybe it's 45 to 60 minutes. Can you give yourself 45 minutes every single day to become a better version of yourself? I spend 2.5 to 3 hours on me every single day. I remember when I first met my wife, she's like, I need me time. And I was like, your me time is my time. What do you mean? Me time is my time. I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean me time? Me time is my time. And then when I discovered this is me time. Now, my wife now requires me to do this. It's not an option. What happened? If I skip a day, she's like, what's going on? Because she's seen the difference firsthand. At first, she was like, you crazy. What are you doing? That's crazy. I can't believe you're doing that. And then she started seeing this transformation in me. Things didn't stress me out. I was much happier. I was much more productive. So next week, I want you guys to commit to doing these things. Take 2 or 3. If you're like, I can't do all those things, I can't go for a walk, I can't work out, I can't read, I can't write, I can't do these things, I will tell you this. Your language is right. And my grandfather told me, can't die in the poorhouse. Do you want to be in the poorhouse? Then make a different decision. And I know this week is a big week. We talked about a lot of stuff, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of homework. Okay? I want you to start asking other people what their 2 numbers are. Help them understand how to get there. Give them the simple math that I gave you guys. And then I want you to pay attention to how many people don't have those numbers ready in their mind. That they look up to the right and they're like, huh, never thought of that. Because people live where they are, not where they can be. And then I want you to take your success snowflake and your why and your numbers, and I want you to start working on what you want to accomplish in the next 90 days. What you want to accomplish to reach by August. That's when we're going to end this. And we're going to share these in the last class. But I want you to start working on it now. Now, I know a lot of you are going to procrastinate and not start working on it now, but at least you remember telling you, I want you to start working on this. And then I'm going to give you some more training down the road, how we can break these goals down into bite-sized pieces so they don't seem so overwhelming. But start working on what they look like so you know exactly what you want and what you want to accomplish. We have a lot of cool things happening right now. New comp plan, new products coming out, new countries coming out. Like, there's a lot of great things coming out. So I want you guys to be prepared for it. This is the hard part, you guys. It's thinking, it's defining, it's clarifying what your goals are. So, quick recap. Make a decision. I want you guys to live into your why and your success snowflake. I want you to run all your decisions through your core values. I want you to know your numbers. I want you to start your morning routine. And I want you to manage your mind. I know that's a mouthful, but we got to start. Those are simple things. They're simple tasks. They're just simple shifts. And I know this seems like a lot, but most of it is simply just making the decision to change what you're doing and managing your mind. Start looking within and start living the life you were meant to live. I don't care what people told you, but we all have the same capacity and the ability to create exact life that we want. I don't care what anybody told you. I'm telling you something different today, and you got to be open to it. What happened was you just started believing your own lies and the lies that others have told themselves that rubbed off on you because they weren't capable of doing it. It's your time to take control of your life and take massive action. I want to thank you guys again, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week. And don't forget, invite people to our event this Saturday. See if they live here. If you don't live here, invite them out to this event so that we can all meet each other and we can all do something really, really special together, guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys so much for engaging. Make sure you tell people about this call so that they can hear and they can take this to their next life. We got to share this knowledge with people so that they can actually take their life to the next level. Let's not keep this stuff a secret. We put good content out there for you guys because we want you guys to be successful. And I'm telling you, everything that I'm teaching you in this next 9 weeks, I execute and implement on a day-to-day basis. And that's the only reason that I've gotten from where I was to where I am now. Thank you guys so much. And I will talk to you guys next week. I think I'm doing it on Wednesday. So let everyone know on your team to join these calls. Okay, you guys? Have a great night. Thank you so much.